Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Faith Kayode, and in this video, I'll show you how to choose the right plugin for your website project. So if you are new to this channel, you can consider subscribing because I make WordPress tutorials which are very helpful for different needs. So you can subscribe so that each time I upload a new video, you get notified and you can watch and learn from it. Okay, before I show you how to choose the right plugin, I want to show you the the disadvantage of choosing the wrong plugin or a bad plugin. So if you happen to choose a bad plugin, number one, it could cause errors that would disrupt the operation of your website. So the plugin can lead to different kind of issues on your website, which would affect the operation of your site. And number two, a bad plugin might consume a huge amount of your website's memory, so it can take a lot of memory space. So memory space that's supposed to be used by some other plugins to function maximally, it would consume those, and that will affect the performance of your website. And as well, other good plugins on your website can start malfunctioning. So number three, it can make your website vulnerable to attacks or hacking due to security loopholes. So some of these bad plugins, they have security issues which can open up your site to hackers due to some security loopholes that I've said. And number four, bad plugins can slow down your website speed and negatively affect your site performance. Here, they can make your website very slow, and a slow website would find it hard to rank on Google search results. And also, when your website is slow, you have a lot of bounce rate, and it would affect your business as well, and a lot of things would go wrong. So number five, some bad plugins intentionally introduce malicious code to your website. So some of the developers of some bad plugins, they intentionally introduce malicious code which they can use to bring down your website or do some kind of things to their advantage which would affect you. So that's why you should be careful when you are choosing a plugin to use. And number six, a bad plugin can steal your user personal information and make your website inaccessible. So bad plugins, yeah, they can steal your users' information and your website could become inaccessible. Now let's look at some metrics you can use to choose the right plugin for your website. So number one thing you have to do before choosing any plugin is that write have a checklist of what you want the plugin to do. Have a list of the features you are looking for, the functionalities you are looking for, what you want to achieve with your website, the goals, how you want to achieve it. Have a list of all these things in a note, or you can have them written down in a paper. And number two, after you have done number one, is to do a keyword research on reputable plugins directly like WordPress.org and Code Canyon. So here is WordPress website. So you can go to WordPress.org and click on plugins. So you can from here you can search for plugins you want to because of like you can search using a keyword that is related to what you are looking for. You understand? So and here on Code Kenya, I'm going to drop the link to the direct to these two websites so you can make a search that is using keywords related to what you are looking for. And then the next thing is for you to, after you have made a search, yeah, it's going to give you a lot of search results. So pick one of the plugins there and open it up. Then number three is for you to read customer reviews and check for ratings. So before you choose a plugin or before you install or purchase it, ensure to read customer reviews. So customer reviews give you an idea of the kind of plugin, of the issues people have with the plugin, whether it's a good plugin, and you'll be able to get um, people's review about the plugin, their experience with it, and all of that. So this will help you in knowing if you should go with this plugin or not. So if you are making a search of plugins on WordPress.org, so if you open the plugin, so it's going to look like this, and you can read reviews from here. So here is the rating. So you can see they have 5 star, 25,750 rated them 5 star. So if you want to see the reviews of people rated them 5 star, you can sorry, you can click on 5 stars. So it will open the reviews of everyone that's rated them 5 star. Okay, so if you're on Code Kenya, that's very easy as well. You just have to click on this and it will load the reviews and everything like that. So it's going to load the reviews for you. So it's going to load the reviews. So you can see this is a review um, from someone here. So these are reviews of people who have purchased this particular plugin as this particular plugin. Okay, now let's move on to this got cut off. Okay, so let me move on to the next thing here. So number 4 is for you to check for the last updated date and active install. So this is very necessary. Before you choose a plugin, try to see when it was last updated. Doing this would help you avoid some kind of security issues because you have to make sure that the plugin you want to choose is regularly updated by the developer. It shouldn't be a plugin that has been abandoned by the developer because if it's a plugin that has already been abandoned, then there's a high tendency that in the future you would have problem with that plugin. So you can always check for the last updated date. Like for this used SEO plugin, which is a SEO plugin, you can see that it was last updated on it was last updated on okay, it was last updated 1 week ago. So this is a very good plugin because they are regularly updating. So I recommend that you don't install plugins that have been last updated like let me say 6 months ago or even a year ago. Don't install this kind of plugin except it has. I don't recommend even installing them because you could have issues using them in the future. So here you can see the reviews that I was talking about. So here are just the topics. You can just click on any of them to view the full detail of the review. You understand? So you can just check on them. Now let's move on to the next thing here. So the next one is for you to can see check for active installs. So you can check for active installation. You can see 5+ million. So when a plugin has a huge active install, that means it's a good plugin. Although um, a plugin with a low active install doesn't mean it's bad. Those are just metrics you can use in choosing your plugin. And about the next one is for you to check for WordPress version compatibility. So plugins, WordPress do roll out updates of their software, their core software. So you have to check if the plugin you want to purchase is compatible with the latest version of WordPress. This is to avoid having issues with it using it on your website. So you can see on this here it says tested up to version 5.8. So you should always check for that as you'll find information about that. So let's move on to the last three. Okay, the last four. So the next thing is for you when you are choosing your plugin, ensure to check the plugin screenshot. So this will give you an idea of what to expect after you have installed the plugin. So you can even see the plugin in action. So you can see this is used SEO plugin in action, and these are screenshots taken from the dashboard. So this will give you an idea of how the plugin works and all of that. So this will help you as well. So you can see this is the back end of the plugin. It's just for SEO, and even here I think there's really here you can even see screenshots as well. So you can see these are screenshots of this particular plugin in action. And I forgot to tell you something. You should always read the description of these plugins after you have written down what you want them to do. So reading the description will allow you access whether that particular plugin offers what you are looking for. And one thing you should note is that the plugin might not perform all the functionality you listed out. So it might be that you have to combine maybe one or two or three plugins together to get your all your desired functionalities. So you don't expect to get all the functionality you need in just one plugin. If you can't find it in just one plugin, try and check for that plugin and combine them together. So remember, another thing you should take note of when choosing your plugin is the frequently asked questions. So always check for that. That could also help you in the decision making as well. Check for frequently asked questions. So you can see a lot of frequently asked questions here, which you might have in mind or might even help you in choosing this particular plugin. and here it's also frequently asked questions as well. So now another thing you should take note of when choosing your plugins is that you should check for compatibility with your site's active plugins. So you have to ensure that the plugin you are choosing is actually compatible with other plugins on your website before you install it. So this will avoid you having issues with using them. So most of sometimes some plugin developers do state that their plugins are compatible with some popular plugins, although they don't give you the list of all plugins that are compatible with those. So you might have to first install it and see if it conflicts with your site plugin. So if it conflicts, you can get rid of that plugin. Then the last thing you have to check for, which is also necessary, is check for the speed impact of the plugin on your site. Okay, so let me even talk more about this compatibility with your site active plugins. So, for example, if you are building an e-commerce website now and you are making use of a plugin like WooCommerce, now if you want to extend the functionality of WooCommerce, maybe you want to add some kind of functionalities to your website, your e-commerce website. So, when you are in choosing your plugin, you have to look for a plugin that is compatible with WooCommerce, that integrates with WooCommerce for you to get your desired result. So that's an instance of confirming the compatibility of that particular plugin with your site active plugins. Okay, now let's move on to the last step. And last step is that you should check for the speed impact of the plugin on your site. So you can do this by taking a speed test of your website on your website like DT metrics or Pingdom website test, so you can check your speed before you install that plugin. Check the speed score, the load time in particular. Check the fully loaded time. Then install that plugin and activate it. Then take another test to see if there's an increase in your load time. So if there's a significant increase in your load time, like up to like 1 second increase or around that figure, then that means that kind of plugin is not a good plugin, and it's advisable that you look for an alternative to that plugin. Although sometimes speed impact of some plugins on your website might not be a bad signal, yeah, because some plugins actually consume a lot of resources by default to perform their function. An example is WooCommerce, yeah. So that kind of plugin is a very heavy one because it's actually doing a very huge tax on your website. Okay, so these metrics here, they are not 100% foolproof. So even though it doesn't really following these metrics doesn't guarantee that you're going to end up choosing the right plugin, but it's advisable you go with them because it increases your chances of choosing the right plugin for your website. Okay, that's the end of this video. If you found it helpful, consider subscribing. Like this video as well. Comment your thoughts in the comment section, and let me know if you have any other tip on choosing the right plugin you want to share with us. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Sorry, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.